Well, hello everybody, back again with yet another sketchbook tour. Again, kind of a new concept to me, and I wasn't sure about how I was going to do this one. This one's kind of an oddball because this one is technically older than the last one, so like with most things I'm doing it wrong, but you know what, that's okay. That is totally okay. This one starts as far back as 2016, and it's actually very interesting. When you get towards the end of this book, you start to see some of the sketches that I made on characters that were in full color in the next book, or from the previous video. But let's crack this bad boy open. And this is me again trying desperately to create some sort of a system to like organize stuff, which is very silly of me, that the thought that I could organize any of these. Oh wow, I remember this guy. I think he was from a card game I was working on. A couple of these probably are. They're like, not Pokemon, but I guess that's the easiest way you could analogize it. They were like simple creatures that could be used for simple card games, basically. Oh, that's kind of cool. Reminds me a little bit of the eye-bats from Gravity Falls, but this would have been made before I would have saw that. The original idea for this would have been before that. I promise. I didn't steal from Gravity Falls. I didn't. Whoa. This is just a pure sketch page. Got a little flower dude here, where that might be where this character originated from. We'll see more of him later, I think. And then just some glorious bleed through from the other side. Oh, okay, so I know what these are. I don't know about this. I don't know where that came from. But I do know that... So let me just back up. So this is one of the many instances where I was trying to learn cartoonism from some books that I had been given for Christmas. These stick figures along the edge here, they're probably very difficult to see, but they're from a comic that my cousin Jonah and I made called To Be Continued. And I ended up making a card deck of these characters for a card game called Smash Up. It was like my own custom deck, so that's what that's from. Maybe I'll show that at some point. It was like a shield defender character. You know what? Yeah, I definitely have done sketches of these characters since, I think. I think. I remember drawing this guy quite a few times in different versions. I don't know why, but I just kept on coming back to this idea of like a weird levitating floating block with an eye in it. I don't know why. Don't know why. What was this guy supposed to be? I think I know what this guy's from, but I'm not positive. It was supposed to be like a fighter made out of like energy or like an element, basically. That's kind of the vibe I was going for with that. Here's where the little flower dude comes in. Here's where he comes in. And I think I was trying to come up with like a tiny little sidekick character that could sort of follow some of my other characters around, and this design sort of just happened. I don't remember if I ended up naming this character. I probably did at some point. Ah, this is more more Copic work, everybody, as you can see. Horribly bled through. I would just see a lot of sketches on Instagram, and for some reason there's always just skull dudes. So I think that's what that was from. But yeah, he's tipping his cap, and yeah, I you know, it was all right. The colors aren't the best, and obviously, again, the bleed through. But I was trying to find my way with the Copics. Okay, I think I remember what this is. So that made-up world I made also with Jonah. At one point in time, I was really trying to consolidate like the races that existed on the planet, like actually make like a list of species. I don't think I got very far, just because it's incredibly limiting to do that for a made-up like make-believe world with very little internal logic. Whoa! this Sully-looking creature, kind of. I think, if I recall, these are also from a series of drawings I did on the back of my dad's old business cards. Some of these are from that series that I talked about in the last video. Well, that's kind of fun. That guy's giving Luigi's Mansion Ghost a little bit, and then that's just a fun eyeball droid thing. I remember this guy, because I think he shows up again. I think he showed up in the previous video. Ah, of course, Thud. I made an alien prisoner, I guess. I don't remember if he was a good guy or a bad guy. Or if he was supposed to be like a boss character, I'm not sure. Ah, okay. This was done when I was getting way into... They're called Zen Doodles. But as with most things, I didn't do them the way that a lot of other people do Zen Doodles. The way that I did things was a little bit... I can't even describe what my thought process is with some of these. It was just a mental exercise just to mess around with combining a lot of more clinical shapes and like straight lines with like organic forms and sort of messing around with structure and pattern, even if the designs themselves, like there is an order to what I was doing. Like I started in the middle with this thing. There are 4 things coming off of it, things of that nature. Like there was kind of an ordering system to what I did. It just ends up being a crazy Zen doodle. This is a pencil sketch of like an eyeball warrior dude that I didn't end up doing anything with him, at least not on this page. Again, more cartoon versions. I think I remember, so this is the Ghostbusters. I was in a hotel room and I want to say that there was like a marathon of the Ghostbusters 1 and 2. This was before the release of like the 2016 one, I think. And they were just playing the first 2 movies like on loop. So over the course of like 4 days, I ended up watching the first and second movie, and I'd never seen them before. So this was probably just an exercise while I was watching it. I was just messing around and drawing it. Random knight character. Can't remember if that's from anything or if that's just from me. Oh, you know what? No, I don't remember. Oh, more of the Infinites. So, I think in the last video you saw some of these guys. This is where some of those guys ended up getting drawn, or at least their first draft. Crazy goblin warrior guy. I specifically remember the inspiration for this character, and it was the drain holes on a water fountain. Is specifically these, like this exact shape, inspired that. Other than that, it kind of looks like a character from like Castle Crashers, specifically like the crazed eyes. But yeah, it's supposed to be like a goblin fighter guy. I got a fun little like rabbit Robin Hood type deal there. Not sure. To me, it kind of looks like a edgier version of the Nesquik bunny. Ha! I remember this guy. Fun little jester guy. Nice simple design, just based solely off of the comedy mask. Pretty easy. What in the world? I don't remember why. Old dude, watermelon, or chicken. No idea. I do remember these characters. So, I made these after I played Elevator Source on Gmod. And I think these were the party members that you collect on your way, or at least mine when I played through it. These were like the names of the NPCs who got on the elevator with you. I don't remember why I wanted to draw them. I think it was just, oh wow, I actually like did a full-blown sketch of the Elevator Source characters. Why? I don't know. I think I just wanted something to mess around with the different colored Copics. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Just sort of experimenting with like sticking to one color mainly. That's kind of interesting. Ha! I remember this little dude. I want to say that his original, like the reason why that character existed was from some prompt Maybe that I did with my cousin? I can't remember. That's another Infinite character. See, these are all their older versions, because I kept going with some of these. Some of them I changed quite a bit. Okay, so this is a turtle. There's an artist on Instagram. I remember his name, Cam Kendall. He had a bunch of these turtle characters, and I did my own little rendition. And I'm pretty sure he commented on the post because I tagged him. This was the monster from that one design challenge from the previous book. I think this is where the character originated from, and then I used him for that contest because I already had this character drawn. Don't know what the inspiration was for him, but I had a long-sleeved monster-looking character. I don't know. I really like this guy. I cannot even, like, pronounce the name that I gave this guy, but I looked it up, and it's like an actual monster in, like, Asian folklore that I was basing it off of, but I made him, like, a salesman who, like, sells, like, a billion different things, basically. I really liked this character a lot. I love his design, still to this day. Got a just random droid character. Can't go wrong with that. Nice robot dude. So I think NU is New Universe. I think it was Dimension 1049 before it actually got its name. So I think that's what that is. This was me messing around with... I think I was trying to come up with a card game where you could basically, like, evolve your characters during combat or during a round. So, like, if you gave them, like, an ISO fruit, during what you were doing, you'd level them up, basically. So this was me coming up with, like, all the types. Interesting. So I only made 8 elements, which is interesting. I think that's limiting, but whatever. There's another one of the infinites. Sketch page. There's a lot of these in a lot of my books, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, but these are always some of my favorites. Are just the what the heck characters. Just all over the place. I remember these two. I remember them. Some of these I don't recall. A lot of these, you know, a lot of the stuff that I did sketch page wise, I would eventually circle back around and, like, pull these characters to use them again. See, no idea. It's just a flame vampire? There's a joke in there. It's VAMPYRE. You can just have that one for free. But I have no clue. No idea who this character was supposed to be. No idea. This is a pencil sketch page. It's even fainter. I think... Okay, so I remember what this is. This is a sketch page of me working out the designs of a bunch of characters that I think I talked about in the last video, where I went to an event and I just brought a tiny sketchbook with me and just sketched a bunch of characters. I think this was like the midway point between a lot of them getting done up right, was like ideation. So there's the eyeball warrior guy again, but much smaller form. There's just a lot of these guys, and a lot of these guys I did end up doing stuff with. So they're like, that looks like the eyeball droid. That looks like Glom. I remember him. There's little star dude. That's, I think, becomes Baxter. I remember a lot of these, not all of them. There's another one of the infinites, obviously. Very fun, interesting design for a lot of these weird alien species. Huh. This might have been me messing around with getting back into drawing Captania characters, but it had been so long since I had drawn them that this style is so vastly different from what I was drawing before. It's in a much larger scale than I was used to. That's kind of interesting. I don't... What? Hold on, I gotta go back to the... like, the actual thing. What is that supposed to be? Other? You know what? I think what this character was inspired by a bunch of characters that my younger brother drew when he was little. He had his own comic strip. And a lot of the characters that he made when he was younger were really, really cool. Like, really cool ideas. I'm pretty sure one of them... I saw him on a previous page. He's just a spoon. And I'm pretty sure that was a character that Luke came up with. I gotta find it now. I wanna give him credit for, yeah, here he is, right here. That was one of Luke's characters, my younger brother's characters. I think this guy was too. Okay, there he is again. I think these were two. These twins that are like, have cherries for heads. I think that was just me messing around with some of Luke's characters. Nice little pen drawing. Sort of mixing styles here, messing around with how I could draw certain things. Okay, so this this is the page where I was trying to work out all the different races that existed on Captania, on that made-up planet. I was trying to actually logically think through what are all the different types of creatures or characters that I've drawn, and do they fit into all these categories? And as you can see, I had a heck of a time, because I've said it before and I'll say it again, I have thousands of those characters. So trying to like organize them into like different races, that wasn't so easy. I think I was coming up with something. They're the masks, I want to say. Maybe somewhere in here. Something. Yeah, masks. Right here. Are these dudes. They're like a minor class. With like ventilators and stuff like that. Okay, that's why I remember these two, is because I did Copics of those two from the previous page. The cloud dude and then the little block dude. And the lovely bleed through. You have Old King Rebus and the Yellow Knight. Obviously. Why is he called the Yellow Knight? He's drawn in blue. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. No idea what I was doing there. But those are fun, you know. Okay, so I remember this. This is Exodus. He's a character from a comic I worked on. But evidently me trying out, like, drawing him in cartoon style. So both of these characters I recognize, because I did final versions of them in the previous book that we saw. There's Combane, I remember him. That's an old version of him. Loved that character. Oh, wait a second, no, here it is. This might be one of my favorite drawings that I've ever done. Like, to this day, like, I actually felt like I captured some real movement and like energy to the pose. I think I got the pose from like a Legend of Zelda thing. Like the reference for the pose. I'm pretty sure it was from Legend of Zelda. I want to make sure that I credit my sources on that one, because the pose was so good and it worked so well with this very simple robotic droid character. I was very proud of how this one came out. Very proud. I loved Combane. Combane's like a spider droid bounty hunter type character. Oh, here's more of the Infinite and Glom. And then the little fly dude. There's another sketch of an Infinite character I did later. And then there's Glom again. Kept working on his design, I'm glad I did. And then back to Elevator Source character for some reason. That's him once I figured out more of the design. Okay, so this character here. This was a character that was going to be a prominent villain in a Cartoon Network show that I was trying to write. Obviously, this was all in my head. I was like, oh, this is the villain, all the stuff. But I think that's who that character is. And then this Ghost Warrior guy does come back later, in later books, as a separate character. Oh. I think I remember the impetus for these. I was watching a video on, there's a channel on YouTube called Drawfee, and they made a couple videos about sort of riffing on like JRPG stereotypes. And I sort of made my own little fantasy characters that could fit in some sort of a goofy game, and an obligatory skull character, of course. And the reason why the line work looks terrible, like in the previous book, this was when I was trying to use that like soft brush tip pen, and I did not have mastery of it. I did not know how to use it, and it shows. Some fun pencil sketches there, again, sort of leaning into the whole cartoon style. It's another one of the infinite characters. There's a lot of color going on, if I'm being honest. And not in a good way. There's too much color going on. Okay, that's like a orc character I think I was working on or something like that. I don't know if that was supposed to be another Captanian creature. Oh, okay. I remember these guys. So you might recall her from the previous video. I kept working on her because I loved her design of just this knight lady whose head is just like a ball of fire with eyes and everything. And then these were more of the characters based off of my old childhood sketches on the backs of those business cards. I think we saw his Copic drawing in the next one. Not sure about that one. And then got an ink test page and a random Vader head. I think I was trying to experiment with drawing, like putting down very faint red colored pencil before doing the line art or something like that. And then you got these two, the detective you saw in the last book, and then this fly looking dude, or this butterfly guy, I ended up using for a couple different things. And then same with these guys. That's like a golem character I worked on, and then that guy, there was a drawing of him in the next book, but his design changed a lot. He was like a poison character. Well, that's very interesting. And then I got a score page for something. Well, yeah, that's it for this video. Nothing super complex. It's been really fun to go back through older books like this, at least for me. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. And again, I know that I'm going like backwards. I'm going in a different direction. Maybe sometime, if I keep making more of these every once in a while, eventually I'll show you guys like some of the current stuff that I've worked on in the past year. But then again, a lot of you who watch these videos also are people that I know follow my Instagram, so you've seen a lot of the modern drawings that I'm doing. I want to show you guys the weird stuff. I want to show you guys the stuff that nobody's seen. But I think that's going to do it for this video. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.